Our extension cord looks a little bit worse than when we originally put it outside. Mosley, did you do it?
Please, sir. I promise I didn't do it, sir.
Well, if Mosley didn't do it, it was probably a rodent. Regardless, we're gonna have to fix this. So the white wire is pretty severed, not fully severed, because actually this still works. In its current state though, it's a fire hazard. So the white wire looks like that. The green wire is fully broken off. So we're gonna have to definitely resolder that. And the black wire, there is a black wire in there. It looks fine, but we'll probably cut that as well and then just redo the whole thing. So the length is the same for each of the wires. You know, that's good. You wanna have that for returning flow of electricity. The way we're gonna fix this is, well, let's just get started and we'll fix it together. Step one is going to be cutting the wire. So we're gonna cut all the wires, make sure it's unplugged. You know, if it's not unplugged, this would be where you electrocute yourself. So we're gonna have to cut pretty far back along this green sheathing because we need space to trim the sheathing inside of here for the copper and then, you know, resolder it all together. You're gonna definitely wanna take back some of this insulation. Make sure you stay very close to the insulation so you don't strip the wires underneath. You know, they have proper wire strippers for, you know, this really thick gauge wire. A bit broke right now though, so I'm not gonna buy one of those. So we're doing this the poor man's way. Okay, so ideally with electricity, you always wanna have the same length of the wire, but I don't wanna cut this and just have to redo it, you know what I mean? Because it's gonna make the wire weaker. So we're kind of at a crossroads here. We're at a crossroads, guys. Do we cut this? And honestly, well, no, it hasn't been affected. So that's why I'm thinking we don't cut it. But the white wire, honestly, I don't know if I want to cut it either because looking at it, you know, there's a few wires that are frayed, yes, but I don't know if there's that many of the wires that are frayed. The green one will obviously have to do, that's obvious, but the white one, oh man, I don't know. No guys, the right way to do this is going to be to splice this wire, not just to try to join it together with some more solder. So just the white wire, we're going to cut it. We'll strip some insulation off of both ends. You know, we'll rewind it together and solder it back together. Right, here's the moment, the cut. But actually, because it's so weak, we should be cutting it a little bit more back. So I'm gonna say like right here, and then we should be cutting it a little bit more forward on this side, just to really clear out that affected or infected area of the nastiness of the broken strands. So a lot of that has been cut away, and now we're just left with this. We're going to have to put that back together. There's going to be a little bit of extra black wire. I don't think the connection is that far apart to where that's going to matter too much. Let me know in the comments below if you're more experienced than me, but it's literally like a very small amount difference, right? That we're going to be joining together. So it's gonna look kind of like this. We'll just pack the black wire in here when we join it together, and then the green wire, you know, kind of similar to the white wire. But let me know if you have more experience, if you think this is a bad idea. I think it'll be okay though, just because of the low level of length this is. We're gonna cut away some of the green wire as well. So that's done. And then on this side as well, looking at the damaged area, you know, unfortunately, it actually shows some damage a little bit higher up the end, but it looks like it only nicked the insulation. So we'll just, you know, heat shrink tubing over that, and we'll just cut off this. Take a look. Copper looks good in here. Copper looks good in here. I'm going to be checking all of the ends, and the copper currently looks good in all of them. So that's a good next step. We've cut off everything that we need to cut out. Now it's time to strip the insulation on both ends. Typically, when I do stripping, I like to strip about half. Some people say like a whole inch. Like that's a lot of wire, right? But for me, I'm content on stripping about like half off.
I want to do it.
You wanna do it?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me do this first one really quick. This looks to be about 10 gauge what we're dealing with. So we're gonna find about half an inch. We're gonna clamp down like this. We're gonna squeeze really hard, and then we're just going to,
Wiggle.
no, don't wiggle it. You just wanna pull it straight out. It actually looks like this might be not even a 10 gauge wire. This might be a 12 gauge wire. Definitely wanna make sure we get the right one. So I'm gonna pull it back a little bit more. So you cramp it down, pull it straight out. That went under the car, that's gone. But yeah, you wanna make sure that all the copper strands look good. So take this, you wanna line it up with the one that says 12. And then you're going to want to go about like half an inch, kind of like this one. Wait, I think that might be too far. That's a little bit too far. Come up a little closer. Yeah. And then clamp it down on where it says 12. Yep, crunch it all the way down. All right, now we pull. Those are the easy. Copper strands done. Let's do it on this side too. So line up with the 12, baby.
Enough?
Yeah, well, go back down a little bit more. Go down a little bit more. Yeah, that's look good. Now clamp it. Now pull it straight up. Boom. And then same thing on this side. Boom! If you do nick the wires though, you're gonna want to strip back more insulation and cut it, because if you have less copper wires, you essentially have a thinner gauge. So the copper is not going to be strong enough to carry the electrical current through, which might result in overheating, which could result in a fire. So it's better to be safe than sorry. There's a lot of heat shrink tubing. You know, all the stuff we use will be in the description below the like button, but there's a lot of heat shrink tubing to use. There's a lot of different sizes, and there's actually a size chart on here, but I like to fit it to the wire just to be sure. We have one of these. I'm going to use this one just to give us a little bit of extra room. It's a little bit thicker than the wire, but when we heat shrink it down, it should be enough to, you know, seal it closely to the wire. And on top of that, we're going to use some silicone around it to give it that ensured waterproofing, insulation, and separation from the other wires and the elements in the world that it will be in. Twisting these wires on top of each other, get the wires like this. Typically we'll cross them kind of like towards the middle, twist the pairs on top of each other. So that's that for the green one, and then we do the same thing for the white one. So cross it in half and then just twist it.
Did you put the little sleeves in?
Yeah, before you're twisting your wires together, make sure that you have the insulation parts back here. We put it all the way back just because when you heat up the wire with the solder, you might heat this up, which might shrink this, which is definitely not what you want to do at this stage. You put it far back, we stripped enough insulation off. I'm not going to be able to put another heat shrink tubing on this cable because we didn't cut the black wire. With the wires that we have, well, you'll see what we're gonna do, but let's solder these two together and see if that works. I mean, obviously it's gonna work. So let's get into it. We should have dipped the wires in here beforehand, but we're going to grab some solder flux, and I'm just going to put it around the wires themselves. So now that we finished our soldering and everything looks good, it's proper to test this. You're gonna wanna make sure both of these are very well spaced apart. We're going to plug something, we chose the hair dryer, into this end, and we plug that into power. So the moment of truth is really going to be turning this on. And it seems to work nicely. So now we're gonna go ahead and cover up the wires. We have the heat shrink tubing, which we're going to slide over. But before we do that, we have this silicone kind of caulk, clear grip, adhesive, whatever you wanna call it. We're just going to surround these individual wires with it. Then we'll slide this over, then we'll heat it up, and then it will be kind of, you know, insulated, separated. After that though, we're going to add some of this heat-proof, fireproof tape right here. And then we'll have that surrounded, so it'll be extra durable, extra safe, and then we're going to wrap the whole thing. Let's do that first before we get to that though.
Came in and you're looking like a sign of grace. I know, but I can never match your name to face my fault. But when I noticed it was far too
Inspecting the ends, looks good. Everything looks good. We're now going to put some more silicone adhesive on the outside of the individual wires. And this is gonna spread, so I like to just put it on one side. One side's fine enough. And then now we'll take our fire resistant tape and we'll wrap them over the individual wires. And now that's all of it covered. So you have 3 completely separate strands. We kind of kept the integrity of the twisted pairedness of it. Obviously that's not going to be the case throughout the entire way of us fixing it because we didn't undo this wire, but I think we can safely put it back together kind of like this. Now, because of our repair, it's not going to fit entirely into this sheathing. So there's 2 options. You can either cut it off or you can leave it and wrap around it. I'm gonna choose to try to push as much of this in as I can and leave it and wrap around it just because it's just gonna act as extra protection. I don't think it harms it at all to leave it here in any way. So we're just gonna try to stuff as much of the wire that we can back in here and then close it up. We've pushed it back together as much as possible. So the absolute last thing I'm gonna do is just squeeze a bunch of silicone caulk over the slit. I'm gonna squeeze it over the whole way. And you don't have to exactly put it on every single part, because when you do put the tape, it's gonna compress it, so it will spread it out a little bit. This does have a long setting time, so you also don't have to be too frightened of it curing immediately. Around the thicker part, I'm probably gonna put a little bit more. And now we'll take our fire retardant tape and we'll wrap around the whole thing again. Now that that's done, we'll put some electrical tape over it. Notice how we're going the opposite way. That's to cover any gaps. And then that's it. It's tightly bound and we're all good. As you can see, it's pretty solid in all the parts. I am just gonna leave this out overnight, extended like this, and that's going to give a chance for the silicone to harden. Now the silicone isn't gonna harden like epoxy, so this isn't gonna become rock hard, but you can still be flexible with it because the silicone will allow for a little bit of play, so there's a little bit of movement, but we do want it to harden a little bit. So let this sit overnight and then you're done. That's pretty much it of us fixing the extension cord. If you have any suggestions, revisions, any things you would have done differently, let us know in the comments below. Katsu, don't eat it again, and we're pretty much done here.